and go. Hey, look at there. I forgot to put the sound up. There's some more. Hold on, I'll be right back from Twitter. Martin. Martin and Odie. What defines a small rant? Okay. A small rant. That's when you see all these people who are somewhat authorities in military, this, that, the other, and they want to forget about UCMJ Article 108, military property of the United States, loss, damage, destruction, or wrongful disposition. Now, howdy, Smokin' Ronnie and Everett. Howdy, howdy. All right, so just as a question, you've probably seen some of the news of this whole debacle coming out of Afghanistan, leaving military equipment, firearms, vehicles, explosives, all kinds of stuff. Well, first and foremost, while that is property of the United States, when you really look at it, that's property of the United States taxpayers. We're the ones that paid for it. We're the ones that made sure that they could get that stuff. And I don't mind the troops having it. I don't mind the cost of it. I don't have any problem at all about that. Howdy, Steph. Great to see you in today. What I have a problem with is that here they are in the military and in Congress and all the way up through the current administration, and they are patting themselves on the back for this miraculous job of leaving troops, leaving people, leaving military stuff, leaving firearms, ammunition, explosives. Some of it, in fact, quite possibly could be considered top secret. Now, if you were to look through, if you were to completely look through 100% of this article and what it entails, if you were just to take a duffel bag, no big deal, it's a duffel bag. But they could throw your ass in jail for up to a solid year for just a duffel bag. Firearms, explosives, or things that are considered to be more than a certain set amount. In America, we would say that that would constitute a felony. So let's go ahead and just use the $2,000 figure. Actually, that figure is lower, but we'll get to that if y'all really want to. If you do that, you are finable and imprisonable for up to 10 years. Now here's where they're going to try and say, without proper authority. Okay, so that means that the privates, the sergeants, up to lieutenant, captain, if they have those written orders that says leave the crap, get the hell out, they're covered. Their higher up chain of command has signed off, said, leave it, get out. Done. That's your proper authority. The problem is, when you're talking about the amount of stuff, how high up does that proper authority go? In my mind, Commander-in-Chief is a military rank in considering what all goes on with that. So if it was Biden's plan, then he should be considered held liable. Sorry, but 10 years imprisonment. I'm ready for him to go. Go ahead, get on out of here. Hey, you know what? Kamala, if your name was on that crap, you're good too. Because you were the first one in line that should have said, hey, wait a second, we got to get our stuff out of there too. We can't be leaving firearms and explosives and helicopters and trucks and various other things that could be used later on and come back to haunt us. But no, nobody said that crap. They just said, get out. So from the lowest levels up quite a few levels, those people are covered by... It's when you start getting into those upper echelons. Which generals were supposed to say, wait a second, we can't leave our stuff. Wait a second, we can't leave our interpreters. We can't leave our undercover people that are working for us. We can't do that to them. At that stage, is that not where UCMJ Article 108 comes into play, and we just go ahead and clear out this government and start over? Now, am I saying that we, the people, should hold them to this? Yes, I am. Because we, the people, paid for that stuff. If they're just going to take our money and throw it away, then we, the people, need to stop handing them over the money. Something tells me, we, the people, stop paying taxes, there's going to be a whole lot of them coming to arrest us. But if they're just going to throw away our money, oh, and believe me, when I saw pallets, stacks of $100 bills getting opened up and handed out to these people who were just there in Afghanistan. Really? When I saw stacks of firearms and men of military age were just walking up, holding out their hands, and somebody would put 2 and 3 rifles in them and away they could go, walking away. Firearms is covered on that. Property, those stacks of cash, that's covered under that. Quite literally, if a member of the military was to go out on leave, get drunk, play with some fireworks, and blow off a pinky, they're going to get fined for damage to military property. Article 108. So, well, see, that's the exact point that I'm trying to make there, Patch. Commander-in-Chief is the highest rank. I don't believe that he asked the American people, is that okay to just toss that money? I don't believe that they said any of that to us who were here going like, hey, look, we do want our troops back. But it'd be nice to have our stuff that we also paid for brought back with them. Now, I've never seen a retreat like this where they just left the crap. Not, at least not by the Americans. There were some countries that paid a certain amount of money to get leftover surplus stuff, but they paid a big amount of money for that stuff. This was more like they just left it behind because they said, nah, screw it. We don't need that stuff. So anyways, I saw a meme the other day. It said bacon is 73% fat and very, very salty. To which I reply, me too, bacon. Me too. All right. Rant over. Unless y'all want to go on with it, that's fine. Howdy, Steve and Miss Kathy. Great to see y'all in today. It is a little warm out here, so if you see me wiping my face here on my sleeve, it is because I'm a little bit dripping. Okay, things left behind. Most wasn't functioning. Well, Steph, I know that if I leave 10,000 non-functioning M16s, which I saw easily 1,000 on that video, and I stopped and started counting. So yeah, there was easily 1,000 M16s that I was watching getting handed out. There's no guarantee that they work. You're right. But with enough parts, I can cobble together 5 or 6 of them out of a couple of hundred. I guarantee it. Okay, so anyways, yes, let's be happy. Okay, we're going to be happy. What's the best way to season a humidor, in my opinion? You get the highest percentage Boveda packs. I do believe the 85%, as mentioned by Smoking Ronnie, is pretty much the best one. You put 1 pack in the humidor for every 20 cigars that it can hold. You close the lid and you forget that it exists for 2 weeks. You leave it in a nice stationary location so that it can just season itself. At the end of those 2 weeks, you take those Boveda packs out. If they're still pliable, you can put them in a Ziploc and save them, or you can just toss them. Well, Steph, I'm sorry that it was a rough day. I apologize. But I needed to get that out, otherwise it was just going to eat on me. And we don't really want me where I'm upset all the time. It's not healthy. No. Ronnie, it is true that you can get away with 2 bags on the average humidor, but if you have a humidor that holds 100, it will not season on 2. I know because I used to do this for people when I worked in a cigar shop. They would order a special humidor, it would come in, we would open it, we would get it seasoned. That way when they took possession of it 2 weeks later, it was ready to go as soon as they got it. They could fill it up with cigars that day if they wanted to. So 100 and up would not work. 3 Boveda packs for 100 and up, and they were always crispy. And now this is Houston, so Houston's higher humidity for the most part, but you remember you're keeping it in a location where you're trying to control heat and temperature and humidity and everything else. So the 3 being extremely crispy on a 100 size humidor, I don't feel safe in telling somebody, yes, you can do that. The 85% Boveda bags do a very good job of rehydrating pipe tobacco. That is correct. And for that, all you need to do is take a Ziploc bag, put a Boveda pack in, put your tobacco in, leave it in the tin. You can set the tin right on top of the Boveda pack if you want to, and then zip it closed and keep it below 80 degrees as far as temperature Fahrenheit. Sorry for those of most of the world that follows with Celsius on that, but it's what I know, and just one of those things. Yeah, you can definitely put a small cap of bottled water in also, but it would be better if you used distilled water. Sometimes the minerals will leach into the cedar, and not all minerals are good for cigars. Just saying. So Steve's saying that he puts 4 of the 85s into his 100 to 150 count humidors. That is good for normal maintenance. I'm just talking about when you're seasoning. I would take if you have a 100 count humidor, I would put 5 bags in, and for the most part they would still come out pretty crunchy at the end of 2 weeks. If it's a refurbished humidor, it might already have a little bit of humidity, and if it's been stored in ideal perfect conditions, it might have some humidity already in there. But for the most part, the ones that I got and made sure that they were in the right condition for people, I made sure if it said it could hold 20, I'd put 1 of the 84s in, or 85s in there, and that would do just fine. As far as once it's seasoned, they stay seasoned for just about forever, as long as you keep them at least up to about 70. So I liked to use the 69% Boveda packs. That's here in the Houston area, like I said. Just trying to keep it there. All right. Well, Patches, or Mike, I'm hoping I gave everybody some ideas. Carter Hall and a poker working tonight. Now and both show. Very nice, Skip. Very nice. Sharon, I am letting it grow back out just because if I have to look at this face in the mirror, it's a worse day than it needs to be. So not shaving makes my day better. Haunted bookshop in a it's Rose Pipes Co. Big Pipe. Okay. Everett? I've never seen one of those, but I do like some haunted bookshop from time to time. The problem with seasoning a humidor is you have to actually get it to stop sucking in. If you don't go to the higher end on the Boveda packs, it's only going to push it up to a certain point, which is still going to leave your cigars vulnerable to dehydration in a very very fast way, and trust me, you don't want that. Experience speaking, trust me, you don't want that. But no, it's not going to season any faster with a higher one. It's just that's the one to go. Well, I thought about doing the Simper Shave September, but then I decided that no, I'm just not mean enough to myself. As in Simper, as in, always. As in Semper Fidelis, which is always faithful. Though it's shortened often enough to simplify. No, I don't know anything about the Marines. Just say. Howdy, Dan, oh man, I forgot where you're at, but yes, I am in Houston. Howdy, sir. Great to see you in today. Yeah, 2 weeks is the minimum. I would never go less than that. It takes that long for the wood to stop trying to absorb the humidity. Everett, if I don't shave every once in a while, it just starts itching, and then I sit out here and look like I have fleas. Let's see. I am familiar with the idea of the Wynador humidor. They work very good, especially if you can get someone who has arranged it to still have the good seal and still have the electronics to keep the airflow going, because that gets a little difficult for some people. Oh, Dan got your package today, Martin. Martin, you should ask for your package back. It's your package. No. Well, congratulations, Dan. Great to hear that. That is an awesome thing. And here I am, 25 minutes in practically, and I haven't even tried to light my pipe. Maybe it's because I was too busy being an asshole. Or stating my opinion forcefully. I don't care. Y'all can say whatever y'all want about me. It's not going to hurt my feeling. All one of it. Yes, I am wearing the Briar Blues pipe. The hat. But I'm wearing a Disney shirt, technically. Damn it. Yeah. You figure it should only be women talking about Martin's package. But he had a birthday recently, so hey, happy birthday, Martin. Yeah, Ronnie is correct. Don't mix. If you have Boveda packs of a certain set range, stick with that. If you like 69% humidity, stay with that. If you like the 73% humidity, or maybe it's 72, you know what, the numbers start smooshing together in my head. Then stick with the 72, but don't put a 69 in a 72. They're not going to do what you're thinking they will. Let the humidifiers stay out until afterwards, because you won't need to use them if you're using the Boveda packs the way as suggested. Well, Martin, I'm going to say that Atlanta, which is pretty close in humidity to Houston, there's a reason why they call it Hot Atlanta. It does stay fairly humid. So you have some days where it gets above that 70% and it stays above there for a while, various times of the year. So you'll probably want to go with the 69% humidity, and that's just one of those. I'm just trying to give you my best guess on what your exact needs are there in the Atlanta area. And I know you're not far from Atlanta. It's been discussed on too many live streams for you to deny it now. Yes, Everett, I did say 69 because 69% is the percentage that I liked to use for all my cigar humidors, because it's as close to what I kept my large walk-in humidors when I actually worked in a cigar shop. We kept it at 70%, and I didn't want to go above that, but it's easier for you to drop it down a percentage and keep it well than it is for you to try and raise up a couple of percentages to keep your cigars well. And where Ronnie likes to set his out for a while, I'm one of those that I take it out of the humidor and it's lit within the first 30 minutes. Unless I am going somewhere, and then I'll put it in a some way to keep them safe. There's many of those out there also. Well, then there's a certain white-haired gentleman that is coming on after me that has said that he went to see you in Atlanta and you overfed him, as we tend to do to people who come to the South. So I don't know why Mike would say such things about you, but he said he went to Atlanta to see you. I don't believe that there's a reason for him to lie. Ronnie, you are absolutely correct. Boveda makes a acrylic humidor that is 100% ready to go from the first second you see it, as long as it's not cracked. I've seen a few that were cracked. Shipping is a bitch. Thank you, UPS, DHL, or United Postal Service, whichever one of you decided to drop kick it 5 or 6 times. I was looking forward to mine, but I couldn't keep it because it was broken. Nice. Oh yeah, the bags last way longer, but that's because the acrylic does not breathe. So when it seals up, it's done. It's not going to let out humidity. It's not going to let in humidity. What's in there is in there. It's good to go. You still want to keep a little bit of it's got a spot for the humidity packs, and I highly suggest putting those in there. But It just works better. But it was designed to work better. Now, do remember my all-time favorite trick of the 1-gallon mason jar? 1-gallon mason jar makes a great humidor. It is just like those acrylics. As long as it's got a good seal, it's not going to breathe. It's just going to stay right where you want it to stay. And like I said, I've seen a friend of mine who's got several of them on a bookshelf. And he's got his separated out so various different cigars stay all by themselves. Of course, he makes more money than I do, so he can have that. He can have all of those glass jar humidors that he wants. But he, of course, does that because out on his desk where he puts some mid-range cigars, if somebody wants a cigar and he tells them, hey, look, right there in that box on the desk, get one. His friends, he's like, hey, come on back to the room. And you get in there and you see walls of bookshelves with various different humidors, and if you're looking at the glass jars, you're seeing that most of them are straight out of Cuba, and they're full. It's crazy. Yeah, like I said, he makes that kind of money. Well, Martin, trade is trade. And there you go. I mean, you got all those esotericas. It's good. Martin, as I have often said to many people, if you're going to get a humidor, get a picture in your head of how many cigars you think you're going to actually keep at your own house. And now get a big enough humidor to double that. And people will tell me all the time, I'm talking bullshit. But I have too many times watched a guy buy a little 50 count humidor. It's full in the first day. And then his buddies will come over and drop him off a couple of extra, and he's back in there buying another humidor. If you're going to just think, oh yeah, I'm going to keep about 40 cigars, you want an 80 count humidor. Plus, it gives you enough room that you can move stuff around without having to keep throwing stuff into glass jars and plastic bags and Tupperware. Yeah, Roddy. Once I saw the Boveda humidors, I probably won't ever go back to the wood ones. But, I mean, I'm going to keep the ones I got. Thanks, Skip. I appreciate that. Keeping the memory of Mr. Higgins alive. I haven't seen him in a while. Is he still a memory? You want to keep 41? Well, then get a 100 count humidor, Skip, because they don't make an 82 count box. but you could probably get away with an 80 count box. One of the other problem with humidors is they'll say, oh, you can put 80 cigars in there. What they're not telling you is that you can fit 80 Lanceros, or that you can fit 80 Robustos. But you go stacking Gordos, and suddenly that 80 count turns into 60. Gets pretty quick that way. Howdy, Jeff. Great to see you in today. Ronnie, I'm right there with you. If I could have 1,000 cigars in this house, I would. Lord knows, I would still need more space. I don't see any reason for me to carry that many, but that's because I live so close to such great places to purchase them. Brilliant up, Bob. Howdy, sir. Great to see you. I mean, for me, the humidor I would need would have to be a walk-in. I can't do that, though. I don't have the money to do that for my own self. And the wife is pretty handy with a cast iron skillet, and I know where she'd hit me and when she'd do it. She'd wait till I was sleeping, but she'd hit me in the head. That would take care of the need for a humidor or cigars, so I keep it very low key. Steve, great question. Yes, you should rotate your cigars. If you have some that are special occasion cigars that you really want to age, you should partition those out and keep them separated, even if it's just by a thin little piece of paper, so that you don't have to keep shifting those around. The more you handle them, the more the oils on your hand will be on the wrapper, the more stuff that you got to worry about. But for your average everyday smokes, yeah, you just rotate those around pretty good. Howdy, Scott. Great to see you, sir. Oh, Ed, as far as cigars to be worried about, if you are going with the Liga Privada cigars, Liga Privada, made by Drew Estates, has an oil coating, and you do not want to mix those with non-oiled cigars. It will leach from one to the other and change the taste slightly both ways, which you don't want. If you like the Liga Privadas, keep those in their own separate space. They can be in the same box, but you don't want them touching. Maybe that's just the easiest way to say it. So Martin, other than the Liga Privadas and a few others that are oil coated, no, not really. You can have Cubans right next to cheaps. It won't matter. As long as you like the way they set up, then it's fine. Damn. 1 kilowatt amplifiers. Watching a movie at Odie's house is going to be like blowing your eardrums. Now, see, that's also a good thing. If you have a certain set cigar that you really, really like, then I suggest keeping those separated out also. That way you can just reach in and grab and you know what you're getting. You don't have to worry about, is it one of these or not. An oiled cigar, what kind of oil? It is not discussed, Dan. The best I can tell you is that I believe it is a mineral oil. Martin, yes, certain cigars will absorb more moisture than the others. What you're looking for, though, is when you're purchasing them. Now, you're not, because you're doing cigar bid, this is the one disadvantage to cigar bid, you're not going in and seeing how their shop is maintained. Of course, being that it's coming out of Cigars International, they maintain their shops very well. It's when you get to trading with other people that you really have a little bit of a concern about which cigar is going to start absorbing more moisture. For the most part, though, as long as you're buying from a reputable dealer, then you're good. Non-reputable dealers or some of the overseas dealers, you do have to worry about a little bit, because if they send you a box full of cigar beetle loaded cigars, you're going to ruin your humidor and your cigars, all your cigars. And not just like a couple of cigars, I mean like all of them. And the only thing you can really do there is to freeze those cigars. So if you're getting them from overseas or someplace that's not got some quality control, stick them in the freezer for about 4 weeks. Bring them out, let them slowly rise back up to room temperature. I suggest 4 weeks, and then 1 week inside a refrigerator, and then you bring them from the refrigerator to regular, and that will kill off the cigar beetles. Quaker State, come on now. How about Castrol? As long as we're going to load up these cigars with all that oil there stuff, man, we got to get up, go for a winner there, man. Come on now. Ganji, that only works in the world of weed, brother. Crisco, come on now. That only works on scaly feet. Didn't you see the help? This is relaxing. God, I'm almost stressed out over here. Martin, there's no bad questions if you don't know the answers. The only bad questions are the ones you don't ask. I probably know most of these answers. It's all right here. Yeah, we still got 30 minutes to go before Mike's coming on. Well, not quite, but pretty close. Keep asking questions, fellers and ladies. If any ladies have questions, go ahead, ask them away. I'm here to help. There are some fluids and stuff that you can use to try and season a humidor by yourself. And unfortunately, the process is very time consuming and very, very demanding. Or you can just use the Boveda packs. I'm not going to try unless I got the ability to seriously show you how to do it step by step by step, and I don't. But if I did, it would be like a week and a half process to get a humidor seasoned fully up. But the Boveda packs work. They work every time. There's no mess, there's no fuss, there's no, oh, it's time to go do that. Hey, but I'm out eating. Yeah, well, it's time. Go. There's none of that. There's no waking up at midnight to give it another coat. There's no, hey, I have to worry about what temperature it accidentally got up to or down to. It's shut the lid and forget that it exists for 2 weeks. Put a post-it note on it that says, don't open until. Dan, it's very possible that black twist is brown twist that was treated that way. I can't guarantee that it wasn't. But black twist does not feel as oily as a Liga Privata. Now, at some point I'm going to get some cigars and I will show you what I'm talking about with a Liga Privata being a oil-coated thing. I can prove that just by the cigar bands. It's that easy. Dan, those little Boveda packs, they work like a charm. And you can use the higher ones to keep your pipe tobacco fresh if you get higher level ones. Odie, you need to make a video about that lighter, brother. You keep talking about it, but I don't see the video. No pictures, no proof. Skip if you don't want to pull the trigger on 965. Sutliff Match 20 tastes almost exactly like it. Much cheaper, much more readily available. Uh-oh. Taking pictures with the old folks. Graham. Come on now. Come on. When Instagram first came out, I was like, man, is that like a phone app for kids to contact their grandparents? Of course, when it first came out, I really wasn't paying attention to it, so whatever. Hell, I didn't much care for YouTube for the first, 20 years it was around. Oh, and if y'all are looking for me on Instagram, I'm at Voodoo Review, but I hardly ever check that shit. Just saying. OD955. Okay, well, we'll believe us. We're gonna start looking. Ganji, you're going to try and make a pipe in a 4-day weekend. Brother, that's inspiring. What tools do you have? Because if you do not have a lathe of some sort, 4 days just ain't enough. You're going to be tired of staring at that briar way faster than that. Howdy, Ron. Or as Skip likes to say, hard crackers? Okay, so what are you going to try and make your pipe out of? Just curious. Because if you're going with briar, I'm telling you, briar is tough stuff. I did not think it was going to be as hard as it is. And then I got into it, and holy cow. I've made a few. And they ain't easy to do. Steve, there's got to be a way that you could remove an analog from the drawer, but it might be a little difficult. Post a video when you get done. Well, we all know that's going to work. Ganji's going to make the glass pipe with the carb out here. Ron, I'm just trying to help. Keeping it lighthearted. Hey, that small little rant that lasted 20 minutes, at least I got done with what I needed to say. I had to get it out. Don't want to be angry. Though some people like me when I'm angry. He found Father Dempsey instead. Well, that's a hell of a good father to find. Yeah, it might be. Those are real tricky to do. I've pulled a few, and they're not easy. And without seeing it, I'm not sure what to tell you. Yeah, Rod, in case you're wanting to know what the rant was about, it would be UCMJ Article 108 and the current disposition of all that military stuff that got left in Afghanistan. Past that, you can look on. I mean, when they're leaving pallets of $100 bills around, that's not something that should just be left. Steph said there was a lot of that stuff that was non-working. Oh, yeah. Parts is parts. Give me enough parts from enough M16s. I'll put together one that works. And as far as certain ammunition and stuff like that, well, you know what? If you can't drag it with you, cook it off. Put it all up in a shipping container with some HE and some WP and throw in some thermite and walk away. Have yourself a cook-off. Won't be nothing left. Won't be nothing left worth using anyways. Sorry, 52 Delta. I guess maybe I was trained to destroy whatever couldn't be saved. At least then it would be disposed of properly in a safe manner that wouldn't come back to haunt. All right, Steph, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not my fault. It is my fault, but it's not my fault. Steve, I've heard good and bad about the Bluetooth monitors. You probably need to do a lot of research before pulling the trigger on that. And no, not always more expensive is better. Sometimes less expensive has outworked and outclassed the more expensive ones. I'm just not sure which ones are top of the line right now, so I'm not going to try and tell you which ones to get. Afternoon, Mike. Great day, sir. By the way, thank you, sir. I appreciate this very, very much. And the hat, of course. Me without a hat. Probably there's a reason. Probably there's a really bad reason. I mean, look at the hair on that guy. He looks like he's trying out for the next part of Unabomber. Hey, not my fault. Yeah, I got a wild hair, or all of them. My wife calls it the evil Ernie haircut. It's what it does. It just goes. When did Bremen Smoker grow a goatee? I'm not sure who Bremen Smoker is, but that's probably funny. You would not believe how light this pipe is that Mike sent to me. I mean, it looks like it should weigh about a pound, but it's feather light. Could be a clincher. I probably won't clinch it, but that's because I don't want to mar up the stem too much with my teeth. James, howdy sir, great to have you on board. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, Boveda made one and it did not do very well. Well, I'll be looking them up shortly. Ish. Kind of. Probably not tonight. Somebody remind me on Saturday. Oh, by the way, I was on Flat Cap Piper's live show yesterday. It was a great time. And then Raphael comes out and says, hey, we need to do like an early Saturday morning thing with, where we could just sit around and smoke pipes and talk about sports. And I says, oh, so tailgating? I love tailgating. And 3 or 4 guys on his show were like, yeah, we should do some tailgating. I was just like, oh. Okay, let's tailgate. Steph, you're lucky. There's not many chat feeds in the comment box tonight. It's okay, though. That just means I get to act like a goofball, and it's fine. Somewhat fine. Okay, yeah, I'm a little off. A little off is better than being a lot awful. That's all I'm saying about that. So with Mike's in, let's make it official. Bowl call. What are you smoking? What are you smoking it in? Today, my friends, I am smoking this lovely Jonas. That is, yes, Jonas Design handmade in Italy pipe. It was gifted to me by a very wise young Canadian that we all know and love. And in it, I am smoking some Sutlev Match 20. I know he doesn't like matches, but I couldn't afford the 965 in the pound, but I could afford the Match 20 in a pound. And they taste so similar. I do it to save money. Oh, so if Bremen talks stuff like that, shoot, I gotta find that channel. Sun Bear and a Cob for James. Steve has got some Carter Hall and a basket pipe. Freak Piper Skip just saw a hummingbird. Now people are saying hi to each other again. Skip, of course, forgot that it was bowl call, and he's repairing that with Father Dempsey and a nose warmer. Steph's phone is on its deathbed. Don't worry, Steph. We've all had phones that died. I've had a pipe that died. DYED. You use leather dye. Works real well. Not a problem, Mike. I will throw us all out of here as soon as you get started. You be safe. We will see you on your channel here in just a little bit. Pirate cake in a Captain Pete Peterson Bulldog. Now, that would be a pipe that I could get behind. I don't have a Bulldog, but I think I might try one sooner or later. Oh, Hardcrackers. If he's a history teacher, I'm in. I'm going to love that guy's stuff. Or I'm going to tear it apart. For the most part, history teachers teach history. Well, the best parts about history are the wars. Unfortunately, they're the most interesting things. That's when everything really happens. Innovation comes along. Crazy new stuff comes along. Ways to use newer technology comes along. History is fascinating. And you'll find that almost everybody who was ever in the military is a little bit of a history buff one way or the other. Mostly because they don't want to fight the same war again in the exact same losing way. Hey, don't bother telling me that I'm wrong. I already know the answer to that one. But yes, I will be looking up Bremen pipe smoker with a goatee. Looks like me. Jacked up hair without a goatee. Nice. Ah, so it must be nose warmer day and nobody told me. Well, damn. Not my fault. Been too busy. Too busy doing what, you might ask? Well, that's alright. Let's see. I've been too busy trying to get people to get on the brtv.org, well, sorry, briarreport.org, and then going and finding the hamburger button and pushing it, and then signing up to the BRTV guide. Well, the BRTV newsletter comes out Tuesdays. It's great. And if you haven't signed up for it already, you really, really need to sign up for it. Otherwise, y'all are going to miss out on an opportunity at a new, a pre-smoked Castello. Some guy named Mike that knows all about Castellos. He says it's a 1974 Castello. No, I'm just hoping that it's a 1974 Castello. He says it's a 1970-something Castello. Smoke It Roddy, check in your spam box. Mine kept showing up and I had to keep bringing it to the front. Finally, I got enough times that it stopped throwing it away for me. True that, Skip. Howdy, Eddie. Great to see you in today, sir. Yeah, so Ronnie, just trust me on this. Check your spam or junk mail box because it might have gone in there because it's basically a spammed out letter, but really seriously, it's something that we all need to pay attention. And there's Mark, TPI, sir. Great job on getting that GoFundMe started. By the way, if any of you have not been following Mark at Tobacco Pipes International, he's right there. Y'all see him? He's right there. Right there. Anyways, go check out his channel. He started a GoFundMe to help out Padre Piper, who is going to be helping out his community. And if you think Padre is not going to do that, well, then you don't know Padre very well. But yeah, if you have the ability to help out, really, it's the thing to do right now. Especially with that hurricane that went through and just jacked the stuff up in Louisiana.
Good evening, everyone.
Mike's on.
To Thursday night.
So we're out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, so much fun having you here tonight. Thank you very much. Please jump over and visit with Mike. I will be there here in just a minute. Remember, that's Briar Blues.
Watching on.
And we shall see you soon. Remember, take care of yourselves and each other. Do the best you can with that. And as always, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I will see you there soon.
How's it going, Chad?